Hey, Tom. Where's all my stuff? There's nothing left in my room. The documents that were on my desk, and the memory disk that was next to the PC.
Calm down. What do you want? The message alerts are getting on my nerves. I'm outside right now. Can we do this later?
No, right now. I want an answer. The documents and data drive. Where'd you put them?
Huh? The junk on your desk? I dumped them all in the trash this morning.
You dumped them? Are you nuts? That's important data for work. How could you just throw them out without checking with me first?
How was I supposed to know it was for work? I went out of my way to clean up your messy room, and that's the thanks I get? I think you should be thanking me first. What an ungrateful woman.
You never once cleaned the room before. Why start now? And cleaning only my stuff. What's going on?
But your room, it was such a dump. I had to do something. I leave it as it is, and the roaches pop up. I had to take drastic measures, that's all. Besides, why bring such important work stuff home? Stuff's confidential, isn't it? You really should leave that stuff at work. Don't you guys have compliance training? It's your fault for being so careless.
I keep telling you, I'm forced to work from home since last month. The office is currently being remodeled. We're all working from home for the time being. I told you. I had no choice but to bring all my work home.
Yeah, well, I sort of remember you saying that. But working at home means you were home all day, right? You're there all day. Why does it look like such a pigsty? You're at home all day. What were you doing?
Working, of course. You say pigsty, but some of my documents were just laid across my desk. I didn't need to mess up your room or the living room area. So, why my room?
But I just couldn't ignore the mess. You know me. I'm a clean freak. When I see anything dirty or out of place at home, I just can't stand it. That's why I did you a favor and spruced the room up for you. I'm not the bad guy here.
Are you being serious? What are you going to do about this? This is serious. You even tossed out all the copies and the backup data. If this is not fixed, it's going to be a major scandal. Worst case scenario, I get fired.
Oh yeah? Maybe this is a blessing. You should take this as an opportunity to resign.
What? You're not really suggesting that, are you?
You know what? From the very get-go, I was not too keen on you continuing to work. When we got married, I figured you'd quit, but you hung on as if your life depended on it. Even at home, you'd bring work home with you. I'm working! I'm so busy! Honestly, I was getting sick of it. This is great. Good time for you to quit once and for all.
What are you saying? You never said that to me before. Tom, why now? You were always uninterested in my job. Why are you urging me to quit now?
Obvious, isn't it? Normally when a woman gets married, they quit their job and become a housewife. I mean, my mom was like that. But you seem so adamant about continuing to work. I didn't like it, but I held my tongue. But now that you may get fired, it's perfect. Just quit.
You say that so easily. It's not that simple. I went to college so I could work, so I could do what I'm doing now. Besides, the reason I may get fired, you're to blame for that. Perfect timing? A blessing? Who are you to say that?
Your BS is really getting on my nerves. I mean, a couple of missing documents? Please. Becoming a housewife is a woman's dream, isn't it?
It's my life. I wish you wouldn't be so insensitive. Anyway, I'm going to be busy trying to fix this mess you created, so I'm not going to be able to do any household stuff. So, I'll leave all that up to you for a while.
Huh? So you're going to weasel out of your house chores too? Is that it? Okay, if you want to continue work so much, let's get divorced.
What? Where'd that come from?
All work, no play, not very appealing, shirking your household chores, a problem. I don't see any reason to stay married. I would much rather have a cute, obedient girl than a blabbermouth like you.
Unbelievable! You're not kidding. If that's a joke, I'm not laughing.
I'll bring home the divorce paper tonight. Funny, I toss out your documents, and now I toss you out. Haha.
Wait a second.
Lighten up for a moment and think seriously about this. But, knowing you, you'll end up coming back to me. Alright then, I gotta get back to work. See you at home! Hey Kim, have you chilled out? Must be lonely all by yourself for the last 3 years. Huh?
Who, may I ask, is this? Excuse me, but I think you have the wrong line address.
What are you rattling on about? It's me, Tom. Remember Tom?
Oh, yeah, that Tom? What do you want? It's been 3 years.
Yeah, figured you chilled a bit and got your head back on straight. I contacted you because I'm willing to get back together with you. Of course, if you're truly sorry. I realize you had a hard time after we split up.
Yeah, you left those divorce papers and just up and left. It was a real hassle working at the asset distribution and family matters, but other than that, everything has been great.
Come on! I know you've been waiting for me to contact you all these years. And you had me blocked online, but it's been reinstated. What's that about?
I recently changed my smartphone. Guess it all got reset automatically. Thanks for telling me. I'll block you right away.
Do you really want to talk to me that way? You keep it up, and you won't be able to get back together with me.
I got married last week.
Last week? Remarried?
Yep, remarried. Sorry, Tom. Thanks for the offer, but no need to get back together with you.
You've got to be kidding.
Now, why would I spin something like that? Those documents you so recklessly dumped. Well, I had to get help of other staff members to try and recreate them. It was hard work. Well, my boss at the time helped me out and we grew pretty close, and last week, we tied the knot.
You got married a mere 3 years after divorcing me? That's way too soon. Oh, I get it. You were having an affair with this boss of yours even before we got divorced. That's right, isn't it? I can't believe you. You two-timing cheat.
You are delusional. None of that is true. We really only became close after you dumped me. I knew him, of course, but never really talked to him. After we managed to recreate those documents, we started going out on occasion. We dated for 3 years, eventually talked about getting married, and from then, it was smooth sailing all the way up to that I do moment. So why am I even talking to you exactly?
This is important. Why didn't you contact me earlier? I can't believe you remarried without telling me!
We have no connection, just my ex. I have no obligation to contact you. You're not a friend or relative.
Why did you remarry? I've been waiting all these years for you to see the light and come to your senses. You're so selfish!
Huh? You did all that on your own? I didn't ask you to wait. Besides, you're a complete stranger. You have no right to say a damn thing about me or who or when I marry.
That's why I hate working women. So cocky. You do realize that you will regret this someday. I'm not going to help you when you come crawling back to me later, crying to be taken back. Just remember that. You can be certain I will meet a way cuter woman than you. We'll get married and live happily ever after. So there.
I'm sure I heard that movie plot before. Well, do as you like. Oh yeah, almost forgot. Good luck with the month after next.
Huh? Month after next?
I heard your company is going to be taken over by some other company. You know, corporate takeover. My husband is going to be running that company as CEO.
Huh? What are you saying?
Okay, don't really have to explain it to you, but here it goes. My current husband started his own business about 2 years ago. He was quite successful, eventually buying out your company. He plans to retain most of the employees, but there are apparently going to be some changes, or bluntly speaking, terminations. You know, people with bad behavior or mediocre sales records.
Huh? What is this? I haven't heard anything about all this!
Oh, really? I thought the notice went out to all employees. Of course, yeah. I think the people on the termination list will get their notices at the last minute. But I'm sure they'll give you a 1-month notice.
Are you saying I may be getting a pink slip at the end of the month? On top of that, your current husband is the CEO? Why me?
Why seems obvious to me. A guy who would not think twice about throwing away important paperwork and digital data of a company he has no connection with. To be honest, I wouldn't want an employee like that on my payroll. Seems crystal clear why you'd get the boot.
How could you say such a thing? No way! You snitched on me when I threw away all your stuff! That's why I'm getting the boot!
Snitched? You make me sound like some kind of criminal. I just told you that it was my current husband that helped me recreate those documents you dumped. That's why he knows about it.
Please, could you wait? Please! I've contributed so much to this company! I've sacrificed a lot! It would be a big blow for the company if I'm let go! I really don't want to lose this position! I've worked so hard to get it! Please! Please! Plead with your husband! I can't lose this job! I would never be able to find a job during such dire economic times! I want to keep my job! Please! Make him understand!
Sorry, can't help you. I'm still at my own company. My husband quit to start his own company. I have no say in how he runs this company.
But there must be...
I have to say, this is all too ironic. The guy who demanded that I quit my job and then threatened to divorce is going to be told to resign. What goes around comes around. So true.
This is not how it was supposed to turn out! Please, Kim, I'm sorry for everything! I apologize for telling you to quit your job, for throwing all your important papers away! Please forgive me! I just wanted you all to myself! I just acted out of frustration, because I love you! You're the only one I love! In this whole world!
That's nice and all, but no need to apologize now. A little too late for that. Besides, we're complete strangers. Love? Please, don't make me shudder.
Please! Kim!
Okay, so that just about does it. I'm going out to dinner with my husband, so I really don't have time to be shooting the breeze with you, Tom. Like I said, I'll reinstate that block. Thanks for reminding me.
Wait! Please!
Good luck in the future. Have a good life. Goodbye. After I blocked him, he was persistent in trying to contact not only me, but my husband as well. But I knew he would probably not give up, so I blocked any direct contact. Eventually, he just gave up. Not being able to contact us directly, he waited outside my husband's company and ambushed him, pleading for his job back. Unfortunately, he accosted a complete stranger, mistaking him for my husband, and subsequently got arrested. But nobody got hurt, and all he got was severe reprimand from the police. But because of this fiasco, the company obviously heard, and he was let go. Truth be told, my husband had not decided whom he would terminate. And about Tom, if he was a competent worker, he saw no reason to fire him. Taking someone's property without permission and just going off without thinking things through, that's what led to his self-destruction. Well, It was probably a combination of bad luck and bad character. Kyoto, is now a good time?
Oh, hey, Nanae. What's up?
There's something really important I want to talk to you about.
Sounds serious. Did something happen?
Well, yes it did. I think you're going to be super shocked by what I'm about to tell you. So please prepare yourself.
Okay, so what's going on?
I'm out doing my freelance work at a cafe in a shopping center. And your mom was sat in a seat right behind me until just now.
Huh? My mom?
We had our backs to each other. It seems like she didn't realize I was behind her at all.
That's unusual. It's not like my mom to be out drinking tea in a cafe.
So, anyway, she was with some guy I didn't recognize.
Huh?
I overheard them saying all sorts of things. It seemed like the man she was with was her lover.
What? Wait, what? What are you talking about?
You must be shocked. I couldn't believe it myself. I started recording their conversation as soon as I realized what was going on. I want you to listen to it later.
I see. Okay, I will.
I am sorry to have messaged you with this kind of thing. But there's no way I could keep it to myself.
Don't worry about it. It must have been really unpleasant for you to suddenly find yourself listening to something so awful. I'm sorry for my mom's behavior.
Don't be silly. You have nothing to apologize for, Kyoto.
Let's carry on talking about this at the house, okay? Probably gonna have to let my dad know what's going on, too.
Right. Okay. Nanae, are you there? Hello. There's a little thing I want to ask you to do for me. Oh? What is it? Well, you see, the week after next, from Thursday until Sunday, would you mind stopping by the house every now and then to check my husband? Your husband? That's right. There's a school reunion being held in my hometown on the Saturday. So I plan on staying with my parents for a little while since they're close by. But, as you know, my parents live a very long way away. Of course. It takes about 5 hours from here, including changeovers from both the bullet and the regular trains, right? That's right. That's why it makes more sense to stay over at my parents' place. I'd like to have plenty of time to relax while I'm there. I see. So you plan on leaving the Thursday after next, is that right? Don't get me wrong, my husband is quite capable of looking after the house by himself. But I'm probably just worrying too much. But I would be grateful if you could show your face at the house every now and then, just to check on how he's doing. Oh, and he'll be working as usual on Thursdays and Fridays, so you'll only need to check him on the evenings on those days. Got it. I do freelance work from home, so I'm fairly flexible when it comes to my schedule. Sure, leave it to me. I want your mind to be at ease. Thank you, Nanae. You're such a sweetie. That's okay. Kyoto, your mom just messaged me. It's just like I thought. She's planning on going away. From Thursday till Sunday, the week after next, apparently. She asked me to check in on your dad every now and then while she's gone.
Even while she's away doing that, she still worries about my dad. Either that, or it's some kind of trick to try to camouflage what she's doing.
I don't know anything about that. But I do know that the school reunion she's supposedly going to doesn't exist. I know this must be difficult for you, Kyoto. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm pleased you told me.
What about your dad? You met him at a local restaurant and told him everything, right?
Yeah. We're together now, actually. I played him the recording, too.
Your poor dad. How did he take it?
Well, you see, Turns out he actually suspected my mom was up to something for a while now.
He did?
He said he had an inkling something fishy was going on, but was depressed and anxious because he had no evidence. He seemed weirdly relieved when I told him, as if he was finally able to process his feelings. I mean, I guess I kinda understand what he means.
I see. Well, if your dad's mind made up, that just leaves one thing.
Yeah, you're right. Let's settle this.
Yeah. Hey, how are the preparations for your school reunion going? Are you having a good time? Oh, hello, Nana. Yes, I'm having a blast. I am back in the family home after all. The house might be in my brother's name now, but that's not to say my dad isn't still alive and kicking. There's something so soothing about being back at the house I grew up in. Really? I'm so pleased to hear that. Did you want something? Oh, please forgive me. I messaged you because there's a little something I wanted you to confirm with me. What is it? Am I right in thinking the school reunion's being held tomorrow? Saturday, right? That's right. All of my old friends from high school will be getting together to catch up over some drinks. By the way, and this is just between us ladies, okay? But apparently my first boyfriend, the first boy I ever fell in love with, is coming too! To tell you the truth, I feel a bit giddy. But don't tell Kyota or my husband about that, will you? Oh, you're such a minx. Look at you all loved up like a teenage girl. I thought with you being a girl too, you'd understand what it feels like to get giddy over a boy. That's nice. To be honest, I think I'd rather not understand the feelings of someone who cheats on their husband. What? Let's just be straight with each other, shall we? This school reunion of yours never existed, did it? Of course it does! Just like I told you, it's being held in my hometown! It's just there are a few things that seem more than a little strange to me. For example, when Kyoya asked your husband, he said he had no recollection of you mentioning anything like that. Huh? I did think there was a chance you might just forgot to tell him, though. So, you know how the 3 houses around your parents' place belong to your old classmates from high school? When we asked them about the reunion, none of them had heard anything about it. We even tracked out some of your other classmates and asked them too, but surprise, surprise, no word of any kind of reunion. How do you explain all of this? Well, Where are you right now? I already told you, I'm at my parents' house. That's strange, because I'm at your parents' house right now. What? No one here knows anything about you coming home. Admit it, you're not here, are you? Oh, that's right. No, I'm not there yet. Oh dear, I forgot to tell them. I forgot in my head if it wasn't screwed on. Really? I, decided on a whim to stop by at a nearby tourist spot on the way. I never planned on coming here originally, so I admit this has all been rather careless of me. It appears I surprised you all. But I'm sorry to have troubled you. But would you please stop with these strange accusations that I'm having an affair? People might get the wrong idea. I'd feel guilty if I showed up on the doorstep announced and I was staying out of the blue, even if they are my family. That's why I decided to book a hotel, so I'll be staying there for tonight. I'm so sorry for the hassle, but please, could you pass the message on to my family? There are some things that just don't add up, though. What do you mean? Why don't you seem concerned about the fact that I'm suddenly at your parents' house? Aren't you curious as to why? Well, on top of that, you still haven't given me an adequate explanation as to why there's no evidence of this school reunion actually existing. Well, that's, Kyota wants to speak to you now. Huh? Kyota? Oh no, you're with Kyota right now? Yes, we're together. What is this? Am I being interrogated? You'll be getting a message from him now.
Mom.
Kyota. Nanane was saying all sorts of strange things about me just now. It's not true. Just ignore her.
His name's Takano, right? The guy you're cheating on Dad with?
What?
I won't go into detail, but sure enough, we know everything. It was pretty easy to find out the rest once we knew his name. Takano's the guy you mentioned in your message to Nanae. Your first boyfriend from back in high school, right? You two reignited your old relationship when you were reunited at a school reunion 5 years ago. When you caught wind of him having just divorced his wife, you invited him for a drink and ended up spending the night together in a hotel. After that, when he started getting serious about you, he decided to move to our town where you lived with Dad. Captivated by his intensity, you got serious about him too. And you resolved to use Dad's impending retirement as your opportunity to file for a divorce. You planned on coming up with some nonsensical reasons to justify the divorce that you couldn't be held legally responsible. And we're getting ready to take half of Dad's stuff, including his pension and alimony, then marry Takano so the two of you could live happily ever after. Does that sound more or less accurate? Feel free to correct me if I got anything wrong. But let me make one thing clear. That is not mere guesswork or speculation.
How on earth?
Listen up, Mom. Remember that time you met Takano for a coffee at that cafe inside the shopping center a little while back? While you were sat and merrily chatting away, a certain acquaintance of yours was sat with their back to you in the seat directly behind you.
What?
That person heard everything, from the two of you reminiscing with delight over being reunited, all the way up until the situation between the two of you today, including your little scheme to try and steal Dad's retirement money, among other things. They recorded everything from start to finish and handed it over to me as proof. We did some further research based on the recording, and that's how we know what we know now.
What? Someone recorded us? Who was it?
That's not important. By the way, as for Dad's retirement next week, that pension money you've got in your crosshairs will be getting paid into a different bank account to the one his salary goes into every month. Which means you won't be able to get your greedy hands on it. I guess you could call it Dad trusting his gut. It's not necessarily that he had any evidence you were doing what you were doing. Somehow or other, he felt like having his retirement fund paid into a separate bank account would be the right thing to do. And it looks like he was right.
No way!
There's one more important thing I've got to tell you. The proceedings for your divorce with Dad are already well underway.
What?
You already had some divorce papers with your signature on it stashed away in the drawer in your dresser, didn't you?
How did you know about...
We found them while we were getting your belongings together.
What? My belongings?
Here's a message from Dad. What the hell are you playing at? Think you'd do something like this at your age? I don't need a wife who cheats on me. Looks like you already had the divorce papers ready. So I did you a favor and took them down to the registration office. However, I fully intend on extracting as much compensation as I can out of you and Takano. Goodbye.
Please, wait.
We got all your belongings together and had them dropped off of your parents' house.
What?
We went out of our way to rent a moving van and have them taken there for you.
Why would you do such a thing?
Isn't it obvious? You're divorced now, which means you have nowhere else to go but your parents' place, right? The house belongs to Dad, after all.
You have no right to go doing that without my permission.
Rights? Permission? You lost any claim to those things when you decided to cheat on Dad. Besides, weren't you the one planning to file for divorce? All Dad did was put his signature next to yours on the papers you already had. What's the problem? Shouldn't you be pleased?
No, you've got this all wrong. It's not like that.
Anyway, Dad asked me to tell you to only contact him through his lawyer from now on.
His lawyer?
As for me and Nanae, we don't really feel like speaking to you ever again.
Wait, Kyota! It turned out my mother-in-law was in the middle of a lover's holiday at a famous tourist spot near her parents' place. 2 hours after the last message, she turned up at her old house where Kyota's dad was, and frantically rang the doorbell. Apparently my stepdad completely ignored her, at which point she went to mine and Kyota's house. However, since me and him stayed the night at a hotel on the way back from his parents' house, we didn't end up seeing her. And then my mother-in-law was forced to pay compensation to my dad. But her lover, who had used his entire pension to cover it, was furious with her, and their relationship fell apart. "This is all your fault," he said. She didn't like the idea of having to go back to live with her parents either. Now she's living in a cheap rundown apartment a little way away from her hometown, working like a dog to pay the compensation she owes to my stepdad. Up until this whole affair, she'd been a stay-at-home wife this whole time. As such, she probably would have never imagined she'd end up spending what should have been her retirement years working to exhaustion.